All right, let's bring in Giorgio Cafiero, who is the CEO of Gulf State Analytics, who joins me live now from Washington, D.C. Thank you, Giorgio, for being with us on the program. I want to get your thoughts on this move that Qatar has now taken in ordering two senior Iranian diplomats to leave the country within 24 hours. How significant of a move is this on part of the Qataris, and what does this mean for Iran?
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, so much has just happened today. Clearly, the relationship between Qatar and Iran, a relationship that has been relatively stable for many years, is undergoing a very serious crisis. Obviously, I think Qatar is in an extremely difficult position. On one hand, it wants to maintain stable relations with all of its larger neighbors, definitely including Iran, wants to maintain dialogue with the Iranians, wants to always keep diplomatic options on the table, certainly does not want any escalation to happen. But at the same time, Qatar is a sovereign nation and it has to protect its national security. And these kinds of assaults on Qatar, which go to target the heart of the Qatari economy and pose a grave national security threat, they have to be responded to. So I think there is a careful balance that Doha is trying to strike. But granted, the circumstances in the region and the Iranian aggression against Qatar make these decisions very difficult for Doha.
Indeed, and Iran isn't backing down. In fact, they have vowed to continue attacking U.S. assets in the Gulf, including oil fields in the region. How much pressure do you think that this is putting on Donald Trump?
Well, great question. I think obviously it's clear that Iran's strategy is to try to disrupt the immediate neighborhood and by extension the global economy as much as possible to pressure Trump into halting the American and Israeli aggression against Iran. But beyond that, what Iran wants to do is also see to it that the United States is deterred from ever bombing Iran at any point in the future. The Iranians do not simply want another ceasefire like what we had in June 2025, only for the conflict to unfreeze, 6 or 12 months later. So the Islamic Republic is very much in survival mode right now. And the chaos that it is unleashing across the Gulf needs to be understood within this context of Iran trying to raise the costs as much as possible, not only for the United States, but for all of the Arab states that have military alliances with Washington as well. And I think for a country like Qatar, unfortunately, its geography and its geopolitical balance has it caught up in this very, very ugly conflict.
And regional foreign ministers, as we know, have been meeting in Riyadh. Can we expect some collective action from the GCC moving forward, something that we've seen very little of?
Yeah, really going back to the founding of the GCC in the early 1980s, what we've always seen from the 6 members of this sub-regional institution is that they tend to come together during times of crises. Then it's during times of relative stability in the region that differences between them tend to come up to the surface. Just before this war started late last month, so much discussion about the rivalry between Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Definitely not talking about tensions between Riyadh and Abu Dhabi too much these days. Right now, we're seeing the 6 GCC states increase their cooperation. And I think as long as Iran is continuing to wage these acts of aggression against the Gulf Arab monarchies, the 6 GCC states are going to really see themselves in the same boat. And I think these dynamics are going to lead to Gulf Arab unity shoring up.
Okay, Giorgio Cafiero, thank you so much for being with us here on TRT World.
My pleasure. Thank you.